Melissa can't get the sound to work on this. And I'm trying to figure out how to get mine to work. Are you guys seeing the screen that I have up?
The welcome screen?
Yes, you guys can see the welcome screen?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So they can hear this, so. Okay. All righty. Well, I'm going to give you my phone so that you can speak into my phone and share your screen.
You guys gonna do a kickoff or?
Oh, yes.
The AV guy is on his way to fix it.
Okay.
Let's introduce him, but also.
Okay. All right, everybody. I think we're going to go ahead and get started so that we can get our finance presentation done. And then this is the speaker that we have to use for the folks that are in because something's going on with Zoom. So this room, unless we're asking questions, we have to be really, really quiet so that the people that are signed in can hear. For those of you that don't know me, I see some unfamiliar faces. I'm Kelly Ponanen. I'm one of the Associate Chief Nursing Officers. I'm a Psych NP and I have a small practice, but I also oversee all of the advanced practice providers. I think what we'll do, I want to have us all introduce ourselves, but in the interest of time, I think we'll do our finance presentation first, and then hopefully we're going to get this fixed, and then we can have everyone introduce themselves, etc. But to start with, I wanted to introduce Joe Smeltzer. He is our Director of Finance here for Harborview. And then on the screen is Kelly Adams. She's a systems finance person. Kelly, I'm sorry, I don't know what your title is, but you're a VIP in terms of all things related to Harborview budget, money, etc. So welcome to both of you guys. I wanted to start the presentation with finance because March is when we start working on the budget. And given that we've had a lot of difficult years, not just us as an organization and a system, but nationally financially, I thought it would be really helpful to have Joe and Kelly come and talk about our financing and also how we work towards getting our budget set up every year. And they'll be able to answer any questions that you may have. And I'll just let them go ahead and get started.
Okay, I will move on up. So Kelly, are you able to talk over the phone?
You won't be able to use this.
I think so. I'll do my AIDIT to introduce myself in my section. That's fine.
Okay.
Thanks everyone for having me. Yep.
I would just go.
All right. All right, welcome everyone. So again, Joe Smeltzer, I'm the finance director here at Harborview. Been here since June 1st, so still getting the lay of the land from a finance perspective, but just wanted to kind of walk through some of our high level financial results, I think, to help set the stage for our budget process. So again, this will be pretty informal. Any questions you guys have along the way, just feel free to let me know, and we'll get after it. So just high level early on, if you look at what we have through November, I hope everyone can see this. It's a little small. Our financial performance for the month of November, we lost $3.8 million, and that was on a budget of $2.1 million loss. So we were expecting to lose money in November, and we actually lost a little more than what we anticipated. And you can look at that year-to-date number right there. We've lost $28 million through the month of November, which is a pretty large number to kind of fathom. Yes.
I just wanted to comment, our fiscal year starts in July. So this is from July, right?
Yes, I'll even take a step further back. Yeah, so July through June is our fiscal year, and our budget is a zero-based budget. What we're trying to do this year is the goal was to have a $0 budget, not make any money, not to lose money. But you're going to learn here pretty quickly. There are reasons for that, which you might already know. So the one thing that we really look into is our key performance indicators. Those are our KPIs. And one of the first things we look at is our occupancy, which in the month of November was 114%. So obviously that means we are caring for patients more than what our licensed beds allows us to do. So again, we have 413 licensed beds. Right now we're caring for more than 413 beds due to the pandemic waiver that we've been working off of. So that 114% translated into a length of stay of 11 days. So length of stay obviously has been one of those critical issues here at Harborview. Our goal from a budget perspective was to get it to 10 days, which is a really tough target to hit. But this 11 days actually is an improvement over where we've been the last couple months. You can see year to date, we're at 11.2. So why does that matter? So why does that matter? It's because the longer our patients are in here, the less admissions we can bring into the house. So we've got to, continuously discharge patients so we can bring new patients in, because admissions is where we kind of help generate that income. And if you look at our admission number for the month of November, we missed budget by 5%. So can you guys hear me? Okay.
I'm sorry, we can't hear you. You're muted.
Yeah, no, we're just finishing up the technical piece of it here. Can you guys still hear me right now?
Yes.
Perfect. All right, and we're good. Thank you so much. All right, so getting back at it. So from an admission perspective, we were down 5%. So again, we only get paid on a BRD basis. So if a patient's here for 3 days, I'm just throwing out a general rule here. They're here for 3 days versus 10 days. Generally speaking, they're only get paid one DRG payment. So it's important for us to turn over our patients as quickly as we can. So being down 5% really Yeah, I think that, yeah. So that will impact our financial position. So again, we look at length of stay and admissions. That really helps drive our financial performance. The other thing that we look at obviously is surgery. So in the month of November, we just missed surgeries by, we missed inpatient surgeries by 8%. Outpatient, we actually exceeded budget by 12%. So again, we'd like to see a higher inpatient surgery total versus outpatient here in the hospital setting, but understanding our patient mix, that doesn't always happen. The other thing that we look at, obviously, are FTEs. So you can see, you guys can see my cursor, we are 1.5% over budget. Normally that would be a cause for concern that we have more staff than what we're budgeted for, which we technically are, but keep in mind, we don't budget at 116 or 114% occupancy. So that's a lot of patients that we're caring for. And we would expect our FTEs to be over budget because our occupancy is over budget. That makes sense. So we do look at, if you guys are familiar with your VIP productivity thresholds, do you guys do that? Not at all. So we do measure productivity based on volume. So right now we're at over 100% utilization, which means we're probably working more. We're caring for more patients than probably what staffing allows. So we are caring for a lot of patients. I think you know that really well. So FTE is one thing that we really come in on. And the last thing that we look at is payer mix. So again, you have your government payers, Medicare, Medicaid. Commercial is one thing that we really are looking at deeply. So right now you can see we just beat budget in November by 0.9%. And if you look at year to date, we're above budget by 1%. So again, you can see we're about 31% commercial payer mix. They're the ones that pay us the most. So if you think about that 1%, if we were able to continue at 1% over budget for the remainder of the year, that's a $9 million net revenue gain for the hospital. Just straight $9 million straight to the hospital for 1% over budget in commercial payer rate. So, trying to cycle through our patients and getting some additional elective commercial payers, always a positive for us. I'll stop there. I know that was awfully quick. Any questions before I move on to the next slide?
So I understand that we are over budget for FTEs.
Yes.
But even that number of FTEs is still not enough to care for the patients that we have.
Yeah, again, this is that's all. It's not just like clinical staffing. It's everyone. So yeah, you could look at we're just above a productivity threshold where we would expect, let's say, we would assume 100% would be caring for the appropriate amount of patients, 100% utilization. We're probably at 304%, which is saying we're caring for more patients than staffing.
And especially since you were saying the staff, the patient numbers were like in the 112% or something, but
yeah, our occupancy, yeah. So our staff, our patients in our bed, yeah, 114%.
114%, but
Yeah.
on many days, it's 100.
Yes, so that's where the fluctuation and managing that staff is really important for our clinical folks. But yes, there are times where, yeah, you have 130%. I know early in January we were on diversion because we had census obviously in the low 500s. So we obviously brought in a lot of additional staff to help care for those patients. Does that
We did
answer?
bring in those.
What?
We did bring in additional staff.
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes, or we were allotted to. Yes, I believe that did happen. From my
We had
understanding.
more
We had more
flows,
contract labor.
more overtime.
Yeah.
All of those things to help care for the patients that were here.
That help?
Yeah.
Okay, great. I'll move on because I know we're from a time perspective. The other thing, so just looking at it from a financial standpoint, so again, looking at the month, let's look at year to date down here. Again, we've lost almost $29 million. So there's two factors really feeding into that. The first one being our length of stay. So again, we budget a length of stay of 10. Right now we're above 11. And you're not going to see it in the numbers here, but it's around $40 million lost to budget by being over in that length of stay. And that's just due to the fact that We have patients who have been here a very long time that we just don't receive any additional funding for. So those difficult to discharge patients, they definitely impact our financial picture, greatly. The other thing that impacts us is our contract labor. So I don't know how familiar you guys are, but we've used a lot of contract labor. We've been using it a lot since about last year at this time. We have started seeing a decline in our contract labor. It's around $28 million right now off the budget. So we budgeted extra money this year for contract labor compared to last year. We're still off budget by about 28 million. And I just want to kind of point out one thing on that front. So if you look at our total labor expense, which is that highlighted row right here, last year at this time, we spent $253 million in labor. So that's contract labor, permanent staff. Right now, we've spent same period, same 5 months, 295 million. So you can see it's a drastic increase in what it costs our, the hospital to pay for staffing. So contract labor is a big part of that. We are starting to see some declines in our contract labor usage. I know Carrie Nesbetti and Kelly Hurley, they're working diligently to increase permanent staffing. They're working on reducing obviously the need for contract labor, but also the contract labor rates. They were obviously very, very high in the summer, and those rates have declined dramatically. Actually, I looked at December's, it's the lowest point we've seen since July of 2021. So a lot of great work on that team. One other thing I'll point out is medical supplies. You can see we're over budget by about 1.4 million in November. It's up to 2.5 million year to date through November. We were seeing increases in pharmaceuticals and implants. So just something for us to be cognizant about. We can't control pricing, obviously. Our supply chain does a great job and are trying to manage their pricing the best they can. So just making sure we're aware, we're being diligent with our supply spending and any waste and trying to reduce that waste. So that's a high level picture of kind of what we are looking at from a financial standpoint. Any questions on this page? And then lastly, I will go into is we talk about cash. So cash is one of the things that Harborview's board is particularly keen on. It's really important to us. So you can kind of see the decline in cash over the past 12, 13 months. We're right now at about 100 days cash on hand. We'd like to be kind of where that 136 was. So we're going to continue to see cash decline as our expenses increase. So there's a lot of work being done to help kind of mitigate some of the lack of cash, but just we need to be cognizant of spend moving forward when we think about capital purchases, just making sure that those are things that we absolutely need to deliver that quality patient care that we do. So just being mindful that our cash situation is something that we are monitoring really closely, and we are losing any given month 2 to 3 days depending on our financial performance.
Can you just describe the importance of cash on hand and how much it costs to operate the hospital every day?
Yeah, so
And why that's
1 day's cash is about $3.3 million. So it costs us to operate Harborview every day, $3.3 million. So this cash allows us to invest back into not only us, but also more importantly, our patients, the equipment that we need, regular maintenance on the facility itself. So making sure we have cash to do those type of projects is critical. So with that, I know we're being pressed for time. I'm going to kick over to Kelly Adams. She's our budget director, and she's going to walk us through our budget process, which is kicking off. Kelly.
Hey, yeah, thanks, Joe. Kelly Adams. I've been here for a couple of decades, and partly my new role that I'm wearing is a hat to help our plan and manage the business group prepare for our new financial statement, our new ERP system. So we're getting Workday, and that's going live in July. So we'll be meeting with you guys and helping you get used to that new accounting system as well. So there's sort of 2 hats I work on as Joe mentioned, the Harborview financial plan, and then helping with the system updates for the new Workday. Hopefully I'm not scooping you. Hope you guys have started to hear about that. So today's focus, the next 5 minutes, is thanks for having me. I want to talk about the budget timelines. These colorful boxes are the months that we have to get a balanced budget to the board in May. It's 5 months. And this month, I like to focus on the blue banner at the bottom. So we have these prep activities and detail. That means we're starting to look at volume, confirming the budget assumptions. Then next month we'll be building, receiving your capital request submissions in Axiom. So you'll get more information about that in an email. But that's one of the things that happens in February, is if you have equipment requests for next year. And then the March timeframe is the sort of 3 weeks that we've set aside for budget workbooks. In the past, we've done speed dates. So Joe and I will be coordinating that with the executive team. So the budgets will be out there in IDEA and available for editing to people who are responsible for a department. And then April, I think, is when definitely when we come up with any initiatives, any final plans to get to whatever the target is for balancing the budget. Yeah, and then the board presentation. So that is the layout. And then if you want to go to the next slide, these are the questions that we want folks to be thinking about here in the January through March timeframe. So just when we build a budget, we start with 6 months of actual, so the data through December. And so the question that we start out with is, how will next year, fiscal 24, be different from the first half of this year? So that's a really important question, right? When you're trying to forecast or make a future plan, is what's changing. And specifically, the second question, are there any service changes for the folks here at this meeting for APPs that might affect your space that you need or don't need, your service offerings, your staffing, etc., supplies, as Joe mentioned, purchase services. So that's what etc. means. And then last but not least, just any equipment that may need to be replaced. We obviously don't want to spend more on repairing something than replacing it. So, life safety equipment with the cash restrictions will be focused on what we must buy, but we definitely want to get a full list of what's needed. And then those are the 3 big questions. So we're definitely going to send out this slide deck, so you guys can refer to those later. And then I wanted to cover in the next 3 slides some reports that are available every month and what our web portal of HBI. So some of you, I'm hoping, I know Kelly, I've met with Kelly several times. I know she knows about HBI, and I'm not sure I can see in the picture for show of hands, but it'd be important. Maybe Joe, can you see how many people in the room have HBI or know about the portal of these reports?
Kelly.
Just Kelly. Okay. Well, yeah, so I guess we can decide offline. So these next 3 reports are things that you could look at to understand how sort of what we've been doing the last 6 months versus how next year would look. So there's a report that's produced each month in this folder here: Harborview Financial Management Revenue Cycle, Revenue Reports by Year, Cumulative Revenue. So this particular report is for professional fees, and it can be reordered so that you know, you can see here, like the highest department on the far right in the bottom corner is the emergency department has professional fees. And then after that, the CRNAs. And then I did see, for example, in the notes that you guys put together that you've had a recent change in post-acute care. You guys have someone that's switching from one department to another in this meeting. So anyway, post-acute care is the third one up and so forth. So these are the charges, and there's also a unit and work RVU, and this particular report is able to be drilled by billing provider. So you kind of see that broken out on the left. And then it's also something that you could look at the department's, the provider's name and the procedure code. So yeah, I just did two sorts. The number one, so this was for the month of October. You know, there was $9 million billed, and roughly half was the physician, and then the next was the nurse anesthetist, which are in the CRNA, and then on down the list. So this is a report that's available, and you know, Kelly, I know this isn't new to you. So anyway, this is one report. The second one I wanted to go over is slide 10. Can you go back one, Joe? Sorry. Is where UWP books the revenue. So the main location at Harborview in the far right is the South Lake Union. Retina Center has some of these pro fees. So there's a small amount in retail optometry. So don't know that there's much going on with this group in this corner. And then the slide 11 is how you would be able to see the staffing. So in a report on HBI, we have FTE that can be filtered for APP positions. And so this cube, this screenshot shows that we would use salary category, and then within salary category, look at the non-physician providers. And again, you can see that the CRNAs represent roughly 40 of those. And then there are, within the health professionals. So that's the second job code down. And then there's a bunch of folks in emergency departments, emergency, then CRNA. So the spend on staffing does correlate with that professional fee revenue we looked at. And then there's nurse educators and so forth. So those are just 3 reports. I don't know, it sounds like not many people are using HBI. So that's something, Kelly, I guess I would need to hear from you if you want more people to be oriented or navigating these reports. And then just we welcome your input back to slide 8. Just keep thinking about the process and the questions. How's the future different than the most recent 6 months? And provide your input. So hopefully this is helpful. What questions do you have?
Yes, I know that was a lot. There were
Slide 8. Yes, can you go back to slide 8 or slide 9 is what Kelsey's asking.
slide 9 or 8?
9.
Slide 9.
Okay, Kelsey, did you have a question or you just wanted to see it?
I just wanted to see it again. I didn't get a chance to look at it fully before.
One of the things I want to talk about
Thank you.
when it comes to the finance part or the revenue part of UWP and billing, et cetera, it goes kind of back to the surgical global fee. There's a lot of people that work on the surgical side of things. So it's a little bit different than when we're looking at the physician or the CRNA, because the surgery is X amount of dollars. So it's $10,000. We'll just use that as an example. that's what we get billed for, but if the APP sees the patient every day for 3 weeks while they're in the hospital, it doesn't matter, we're still getting that $10,000 that they're carrying for that particular surgery. So sometimes billing is like post-acute care, for example, will have very high numbers of billing as individuals, but the APPs, in some of the surgical services, their numbers may be lower, but that's all taken into account based on how we're getting paid for things. So it's sort of a weird, look at some of these things when we're trying to look at it to compare. The other thing is what we bill isn't always what we get in. So that's one of the other things to think about. Like if we bill $150 for an office visit, maybe commercial insurance pays us $100 and maybe Medicaid pays us $50. So all of those things are taken into consideration when we're looking at the finance components of the advanced practice providers. I don't know if that's helpful, but it's been helpful to me. When I first started and I saw all the billing that the APPs did, I'm like, oh my God, we are just like, it's incredible. It's millions and millions of dollars and people are billing $400,000. And then someone's like, oh, Kelly, no, that's what we bill. Medicaid pays us about 1/3 of that, or Medicare pays us, or we had self-pay, or we did charity write-offs. And so anyway, so all of that stuff I think is very fascinating, and it's all taken into consideration when the budgets are looked at. And that's how we actually end up getting more FTEs for the advanced practice providers, is the work that's being done and the number of patients that we have in the hospital. Like Michelle has something up where we have an extra advanced practice provider in acute pain service, or we have more in orthopedics. It's those volumes that we see when we're looking at the budget that ultimately say, oh, we don't have enough APPs to provide for the care of the volume of patients that different services have, so we need to bring in more staff to help. Sorry.
No, any other questions? I know this was a lot, but just from a budget standpoint, a lot of communication will come out. I know Kelly will probably lead it from, this perspective, but a lot of work will go into it. Just understanding kind of the process, I think, is important. So the feedback can be provided back to Kelly. And then our department manager. So understanding the equipment and some of the needs that we might have. Again, we are, as you saw the cash situation, we are cash strapped. So we've got to kind of weigh all the different requests that are out there. But I think it's just important to make sure, we're starting to think about this kind of stuff as we start getting into the process in February and in March. And if you guys have any other questions outside of this, feel free to reach out to me. Happy to answer any questions.
Are there any more questions online for anybody that's zooming in?
Can you go back to slide 8? I just want to make sure people, this is the question, what's changing? We're trying to forecast, and we're really leaning into the operational leaders like you to give us any information so that our plan will make sense. So.
Thanks, Kelly.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for your time. Appreciate it. And rest of your guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Kelly. Thank you. Yeah. All right. Well, I already introduced myself, but let's quickly go, unless anyone has any last questions about budget stuff. Because one thing I do want to say, I didn't share this, is Rick really manages, Rick Goss and Evelyn Sinsel manage the provider budget. So not just the advanced practice providers, but the physicians as well. So I have access to the HBI, but I don't necessarily do a whole lot when it comes to actually the numbers, et cetera, because that's something that Rick's office kind of manages, and that's because we're all, almost all of us, I think everyone actually is hospital employee, or hospital-based employees, so it comes out of Dr. Goss's budget. But we all every month have our own individual sort of billing sheets that I get sent to me. I'm happy to show that to people. The problem is what I was saying earlier, it isn't necessarily a reflection of the work that individual people do. If I use you, Todd, as an example, Todd works in the MCICU, and so he works as a team. The physicians are usually the ones that do some of the charting, and so the higher biller who spends the most time with a patient is who ends up doing the billing. So Todd could do a great amount of work, but his actual billing shows that it doesn't show what one would expect based on our work. And that's true with a lot of the surgical services or the ICU services. The numbers are lower because the physicians actually, their reimbursement rate is higher, and we definitely want to do everything that we can to bring in all the dollars that we can, is legally, of course. I mean that we're doing it all the right way, but it's actually also a smart way of doing it. So, but I'm happy to show people what those numbers look like. If people are ever interested, just let me know. It comes in a huge file, and it will show you what the billing has been for the last rolling 12 months. And I'm happy to show that to people, and also show you our reviews. The issue is that you can't guarantee. I mean, it's not necessarily a reflection of our work based on how we get paid for a lot of this. I think the clinics might be a little more accurate in that regard. Just based on if you see somebody and you're the only person, like if I see someone and bill them, then what I've done is what's shown there. But so yeah, so if you have questions about that stuff, just let me know. I'm happy to give you as much information as you know, get questions answered for you if there are questions that we have around. All right, let's quickly just go around the room. And we'll start in that corner over there. Introduce yourself, the clinic, and how long you've been here, if you would, or the area, not clinic.
I'm Julia. I work in cardiology, primarily in the cath lab, but also patient outreach center. And I've been here for a month.
Nice. I'm Tiffany Little. I'm one of them. Tracy Wagner, plastic surgery for like 7.5 years.
Hello, I'm Shelby. I'm a float PA here at Harborview. I started in November of 2021. My first assignment was burns. I was there for about 11 months, and then I've been on general surgery since September of last year.
I'm Joy. I'm one of the NPs on general surgery team 1. I've been there since August of last year.
I'm Lindsay. I'm a PA. I'm on general surgery as well. I've been here for 2 months.
I'm Anna Crumpy, a nurse practitioner on inpatient neurology, and I've been here 2.5 decades.
Hi, I'm Michelle Cardenas. I'm assistant director for the advanced practice providers, and I've been in about 17 years here.
Hi everyone, my name is Tony. I'm a nurse practitioner of the EA service, and I'm really new. I've been here, this is my second week. So.
Hi, I'm Jenny. I'm also an assistant director. I also work at the Nurse Surgery Service, and I've been here about 15 years.
You all know me, or you signed on later. Kelly Conovan, Associate Chief Nursing Officer. I've been here more than 3 decades, but less than 4.
My name is Conrad. I'm currently on the medical ICU service, pulmonary division, and we started in 2005, cardiology for about 8 years, but the last 2 years here.
My name is Ben Hoisington, one of the NPs with the Medicine Polytrauma Service. 10 years, 6 to 9, 3, almost 4 is an NP.
I'm Solomon, I just started with the paid service.
Neurology, been a nurse actually here since '89, but then became a nurse practitioner in 2013. So 9 years as a nurse practitioner. Neurology.
I'm Holly, I'm a nurse practitioner, also on the neurology service, and I'm with, been here, it'll be 4 years in.
Hi, I'm Matt, I'm a PA with the Medicine Polytrauma Service and General Surgery Services, and was previously with neurosurgery. So I've been here about 4 years.
And I'm gonna run through the names that I see up on the screen in the order that I see them. So Sarah.
Hi, everybody. My name is Sarah Kimberly. I'm a nurse practitioner with the post-acute care team, and I've been here about 3 years as a nurse practitioner, and I was a floor nurse on.
Jenny.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jemmy. I am the lead APP for the neurocritical care unit, and I am about halfway through my 5th year at Harborview.
Kelsey.
I'm Kelsey Hagstrand. I'm the nurse practitioner for stroke outpatient. And I've been at Harborview for 8, but in this role for just over 5.
Natalie.
Hi, I'm Natalie Holroyd. I'm the lead for the inpatient neurosurgery team, and I've been here 9 years.
Manami.
Hi, I'm Manami Honda. I'm a nurse practitioner at post-acute care service. I was working at a company for long-term care, now doing post-acute for this is my 2nd year.
Kathleen.
Hi, I'm Kathleen Connor. I'm a PA in the float pool. I'm on medicine polytrauma today and tomorrow, and I'll be on surgery this weekend. I've been here 4.5 years.
And then I see, I think it's an email, and that ID VOLOSEN. Yes.
Hey guys, yeah, my first name is Cornelio. I'm joining the post-acute team with Harborview at Queen Anne. So I'll be there in the next few weeks.
Let's see, Hannah.
Oh, sorry, did you say Tess? This is Tess. I'm a PA with the rodeo team.
Hannah.
Sorry, I didn't hear that. I'm Hannah Rocket. I am with the epilepsy team, mostly outpatient, occasional inpatient, and I've been here for 8 years.
Violet. All right, how about Royne?
Hi, I'm Royne, and I'm a nurse practitioner in diabetes and endocrinology at Harborview. And I've been here for about 3.5 years. And it's good to see everyone.
Ty.
Hey everybody, I'm Ty. I'm a PA with the inpatient ortho team, and I've been here for 8 months, I think.
Violet, let's try again.
Sorry about that. Hi, I'm Violet Robb. I'm a nurse practitioner in the sleep clinic, and I've been here for going on about a year.
Geraldo.
Hi, my name is Geraldo. I work down in the psychiatric emergency department. I've been here for about 2.5 years. I'm a PA down here.
Jordy.
I'm on mute. Hi, everyone. I'm Jordy. I am the lead in the ER, and I've been here almost 18 years. And it's so cool to see so many people. We have such a big group. Bye.
Yeah, great. Thank you. All right, did I get everybody? I got it. Yeah. All right, you guys, thank you. It really is true. I totally agree with Jordy that there's so many people here today, and it's really nice for this mix one. I appreciate everyone's patience as we struggled with the volume in the beginning, but I think that's kind of the Harborview way. We kind of just make it work. So thank you for that. In the interest of time, we'll we have a whole bunch of new people starting. Tony, who's here, and Solomon, I think might be the newest of the newbies. They started last Monday, if I'm not mistaken, so we're really excited to have them in acute need service. And Aaliyah is a brand new position in radiology, so that's really super exciting in the cath lab. But you can kind of look to see, we have had some transitions with people going to new places, and we've had a lot of new hires, so it's really, really exciting. And we have a lot of new positions that have been created throughout the hospital, including the 4 lead positions that were created several months ago, and we're still in the process of finishing up hiring, or excuse me, interviewing and stuff. So more to come on that, but just really exciting that Harborview, the medical leadership has recognized, and the organization itself has recognized the need as we grow to have more support in leadership roles. So. Big shout outs, Michelle, I'll let you go through those if you'd like.
Sure, big shout out to Respite. They had a record 6 admissions in one day. They're a 35 to 40 bed facility, and so that's a lot for them to have. They did a great job this last week. Shout out to Erica Orban. She's, there's been a lot of issues with urology and access, and she's doing this great training to the nurses at Harborview to do some of these studies and catheter work, which is such a valuable asset to this hospital. I don't know if some of you want the training, but the information. And then Burns, they just, they have expanded, and they're getting some high volume as well in their clinic, and they're doing and inpatients as well. So doing a great job. And Dr. Pham just said, it's so wonderful to have 4 providers now really covering into the weekends as well. And Sean Moore finished his master's degree, which is awesome. You're working full time and doing that. That's amazing. And then Vanessa Carey, patients, comments are so important, and what a great job to get such a great comment about her work here. And just those of you who like to knit, I see Tracy over there. There's actually a knitting club that they're starting that's going to be every Tuesday, 12 to 1. And then there's an email if you're interested in getting more information. And then employee survey follow-up. There's you can go to the link and get the results if you want more information. We've been working really hard to work on the topics that were important to you all.
Yeah, please, if you have any interest in art, no matter what it is that you do, please submit to the online Great Art Show. I don't know if people participated last year, but it's really incredible. And I think what's really cool is everybody participates, including we invite the medical residents, all of the medical staff, or all of the providers, I should say. And there's just amazing things. It's jewelry, it's cake decorating, it's woodworking, it's whatever art you can think of is entered. So it's not a jury show. Everybody that sends something in to participate, their entries will be put into the online show. It's really well received, and it's a lot of fun. It's really cool to see what people do. Some people have also submitted music that they've done. So lots of different options. If our knitters are interested in submitting things, quilters, anybody. So please consider. That top picture up on the left-hand side is from one of our ARNPs, Carol Lawrence.
Kelly, can I give a quick shout out as well? I've never seen or met Hannah Rocket, but I was really glad to see that she's on this call and introduced herself. Hi, Hannah. And I just want to give a quick shout out to you because we take care of a lot of the patients who are coming in for epilepsy surgery in the neurocritical care unit. And your outpatient notes are so phenomenal and make our jobs so easy whenever we have to admit these patients. And so we often talk about you like we're friends and we know each other because we read your notes so often and they're so wonderful. And I just want to say thank you for doing such a great job and making our jobs on the inpatient side a bit easier.
Well, thank you. I'm blushing. That's so kind. And we should all be friends and spend more time together talking about neuro issues and other things.
So quite a few people who are coming on board soon. As you know, it takes 3 to 4 months once you accept a position. So got some time for a few coming on. And here is our current open position. Some are in the process of being offered positions, but some are we're still interviewing. So if you have any friends that want to come to Harborview, please send them to our site, or they can always talk to us as well. Lots of new people, just a reminder of Chronos. I know it's always redundant, but it's really something you get to do every 2 weeks. And so just a reminder of how our pay period works, the list, and then making sure that you send your schedule to Melissa. It helps us, like if I see your schedule and there's nothing there, we can reach out quickly and say, hey, did you miss a punch? It makes it just easier for us. So I don't know if you got the email today like I did of all the mandatory trainings that are due. The compliance training is well, they're all important, but the compliance training is really important, and it's due by April 18th.
All of it, I think, is due.
All of them are due.
Yeah, so please just do them. You know, I know that it's busy, it's hard to find the time. You can start when there is a little bit of downtime. You can do some of it and then just keep at it. For me personally, it's just really a waste of everyone's time when we have to keep reminding folks to do this stuff. So please just, and we have to do it. I mean, that's the other thing is there is just no way of getting around it. So please just do it. And then for those of you that are new, as of January 1st, you'll sort of do that at your onboarding training, so you won't need to worry about it till next year.
But you could do it again if you wanted.
Yeah, if you really want to.
Just a reminder to do your certification, send them to Kelly when you renew. It's taking 4 to 6 weeks to get a renewal done, so I wouldn't wait till the last minute. I think you can pay $200 for some of them and get them expedited, but that's a lot of money to pay, and you could just do it earlier. This was brought up in one of the ACS meetings that I guess before some of the PPE was recyclable. It is not anymore, so do not put them in the recycle bins. And Ahmed told me about this website for CME, which is really great because a lot of you ask me about like suicide assessment or opioid, and these are links, and it takes you to actual CME links that will give you those requirements. And so they have the ARP and PA requirements, and then you just click the link and it'll just give you the list of all of the ones that they have on their website that you can do. I think I added another one. This came in our AACS meeting. There's some behavioral health webinars that are free, and you can take that link in there I think they're once a month on Fridays from 11 to 12. And if you have shout outs, please send them. We want to share these. I mean, this is great, the work that you guys do here, and then we can share them with administration as well. And if anyone has any ideas for presentations or you want to talk about your service, it can be a 5-minute or a full presentation. And that is our next APP meeting is March 15th. It should be on your calendars, and if it's not, let me know. And then the next new APP employee orientation will be March 14th. Aspen has been doing that. If there's anybody else interested in coming and joining and sharing their experience with the new employees, that would be great.
I think that's it, other than, I just want to give everyone a big thank you. Thank you for coming, number one. Thank you for 2022. I know it's been really just unprecedented times, if you will, and I'm hoping that 2023 has started off with a happy bang for everyone, and that we'll be able to meet in person more often. I don't know if this year will be let's unmask year, but at least we can meet in person. So I appreciate all the things that everyone is doing to keep our inordinately high census, those patients taken well care of. The clinics are busier, the ED is busier, the inpatient units are busier. And so thank you for all of that, and thank you for giving people grace because of that. With it, Anna, to your point, we had 560 something when we went on divert, not this last time, but the time before that. So you imagine that we have 413 beds, and we're caring for 560 patients. One thing I can say with 100% certainty is Harborview Summer, the executive team continues to be committed to our mission populations. And that's why we have a census, or had a census that high. You know, we do our best to staff as best as we possibly can to make sure we can provide care for all of those patients and that they're getting the care that they deserve and need. So thank you for that, and just, yes, we want to get as much commercial pay as possible because of the impacts to that, but we also want to make sure that we're always able to take care of our mission populations, and that makes this a great place to work. One of the reasons why this is such a great place. Thanks, everyone. Have a great rest of your day, a great rest of January. Yeah, thank you. Thank you.